This is not the future. This is happening right now. And if you're not doing this, you're behind, basically.
Hey guys, I'm Jace.
What's up, guys? I'm Brett.
And we're talking about a very controversial subject in the restaurant space today: paper versus digital menus.
Yeah.
So what we want to just give you guys insight on is what we've seen after helping over 2,000 restaurants, what we've seen from restaurants that are having success using a digital or paper menu, and just talk about some ideas that restaurant owners might not be considering when transitioning potentially from a paper to digital menu. So Brett, first question to you, and the big question that everybody says is, does the digital menu take away from the restaurant experience?
No, not at all. I think digital menus get a bad rep because of COVID. People associate like the QR code with COVID. They're like, oh, it's not COVID anymore. Like, I don't want to do that. But the other thing is, most brands that were using the QR code digital menu, they were driving that to like a PDF menu, which no one likes. People think they have this experience, oh, if I do this digital menu, my guests are gonna be like squinting their eyes and scrolling on the PDF menu. It doesn't have to be that way. And when you do have a product like ours, Dishio, you can actually have a much better experience navigating the menu, seeing what you're about to order, seeing the pictures, filtering the menu in some interesting ways. But the answer is, if you believe that it's going to ruin the customer experience, you should think otherwise, because it's going to enhance the customer experience.
Yeah, so outside the optics of just the way that the menu looks, let's talk about some ways that a restaurant owner can actually use a digital menu to grow the business, like advantages that this gives them over a paper menu. One of those is being upsell.
Totally. I always think about this, right? And it's funny how very few restaurant owners know this number at the top of their head. They should. We ask, how many tickets are you getting per month? How many guests do you welcome into your brand per month in store? And first and foremost, you should know this number. If you don't, go look it up right now. You're crazy for not knowing this number, right? Okay. But second of all, we look at all these guests coming through as data. And data is one of those words that a lot of restaurant owners tend to be scared of, but data can equal more dollars if you know what you're doing, okay? And one thing I know a lot of restaurant owners are trying to do is they're trying to educate their staff on upsells. If someone's looking at the steak, what goes well with the steak? If someone's looking at your salmon, what goes well with the salmon? What are some dishes that should be paired together? I know you obviously can't hire 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 sommeliers also. What would a good wine be with that dish, right? Well, good thing about Dishio is it has built-in upsells. So if I'm looking at the steak, I'm looking at the salmon, I'm wondering what glass of wine to get, you can program this thing that it will suggest items to guests depending on what they're looking at. Now, you still obviously don't want to forget about training your staff, but this is going to help your staff. So for example, let's just say a guest comes in the restaurant and they're looking at the salmon, and the guest asks their server, hey, you know, what wine do you think would go well with the salmon? If they don't know, they can say, you know what, go ahead and click on that. Scroll down real quick. These are our top chef suggestions. This is what our sommelier suggests. I would go with that. Suddenly your staff maybe didn't remember in this moment, they can refer to Dishio to help them out. It's up to you, the owner, to make sure your staff is trained. This is just a way to help that process, to enhance that process, right?
Absolutely, Brett. I can think of actually when I worked when I was 18 at a steak, sushi, fish restaurant. And so guests would ask me all the time, what wine pairs well with what? As an 18-year-old, which there's plenty of 18-year-olds that work, or people that are under 21, it's like you don't have a lot of the experience to give those recommendations. I would have loved a helpful aid like that.
Well, I would say that from the data standpoint too, you know, how many guests someone's actually getting in store. So like I talked to a brand recently, they had, I think he said they had like 15,000 tickets a month, so pretty good. And I said, okay, so let's just say you average a 2-top table, that's 30,000 guests. And I said, what if we had the ability to potentially be able to remarket to a large percent of those people as well? So let's just say someone comes in, they're scanning the menu, and now we have the ability to where after their visit, we can remarket to them on Instagram or Facebook or any other social platform that you also do online ordering and delivery, or that you also do catering. And if you're having a great event coming up, you should consider hiring us. Would that make a difference? And restaurant owners I've talked about this are like, I never even knew that would be possible.
And to illustrate an example of this that I think everyone has experienced is you're shopping online for a shirt, a new pair of shoes, a mattress, and all of a sudden, a day later, that brand pops up on your social media feed. That brand is retargeting you and showing you things that you like. And restaurants have just not tapped into this, but the buying behavior is exactly the same.
100%. They're kind of in their own way. It's like your negative mindset of this is really hurting your profits and your business's growth. Like, let it go. This is not the future. This is happening right now. And if you're not doing this, you're behind, basically.